Well, the atmosphere building up here at the arena, not quite full, few empty seats, particularly away to our left, but building up nonetheless with 3,100 Spurs fans to our right. And out come the officials. Darren England, the referee, marches out with a ball in hand, and the two teams come out. The first time Tottenham Hotspur players have walked on the turf here at the Coventry Building Society Arena, and the Coventry City players wearing sky blue tracksuits line up and face us. And what will we go through the players' mind, Oggy? I know it's the Carabao Cup, but this is up against Spurs of the Premier League. They're going to be excited, haven't they?
I think so, yeah. They'll be buoyed on by last season's results against Premiership opposition, beating Wolves, taking Manchester United to extra time and only losing on penalties in the semi-final. Those experiences make you believe that you can do it again. And, what better way? You play well against really good teams, really good players. It's your opportunity to climb the footballing ladder. So for many different reasons, it's really important that they perform today. And generally, they play better than what their average performance is, let's just say. They raise the game against better teams. So I'm hoping that happens tonight. I think whatever happens, we're going to be in for a great game.
Steve Igrizovic with us on BBC, CWR and 5 Live, 5 Sports Extra. Oggy, who 600 plus games against Coventry, included one in 1987 at Wembley against the mighty Spurs in the FA Cup final. Have many people brought that match up to you in the last couple of weeks, Oggy, since the draw was made? And have many people asked you about 87?
Yeah, many people. Well, I kid you not, there's not a day goes by if I'm in and around the Coventry area where somebody doesn't stop me and say, well, they'll tell me exactly what they were doing in 1987 on that day. If they were at the game, they'll share their memories. It's great, it's kept it alive. It's nearly 40 years ago, but it was an incredible time to be around the club, obviously, and those memories still live long in lots of people's minds.
Big team of mascots lining up. I'll go through the names quickly. They are Kira Gill, Emily Plowman, who's daughter of Dan, but we all have a cross to bear, Leo Cleaver, Freddie Miles, Charlie Newman, Tommy Toplin, Archie Proud, Charlie Bennett, Solomon Mystery, Jasper Matthews and Cameron Jones are the Coventry City mascots, and Hugo Ali is representing Tottenham Hotspur as the corporate guests, and the officials and captains have their photos taken, and we're almost ready. Coventry City in their traditional sky blue shirts, white shorts and sky blue socks. Tottenham in their green away strip, all green with white flecks on it. Both teams going into a pre-match huddle. It's the Carabao Cup third round. Coventry City of the Championship against Tottenham Hotspur of the Premier League. Mark Robbins up against Ange Postecoglou, who has promised that he'll win a trophy for Tottenham this season. Coventry City will be hoping it's not this one. Spurs about to kick off. They will kick from left to right as we look at it, which means they're kicking towards the Spurs fans, who are not directly behind the goal, but just to the right-hand side of it. And the supporters from both teams on their feet applauding. And the enemies, we live and die in these towns, is sung by the Sky Blues supporters. As straight away Tottenham Hotspur win possession inside their own half. We'll go through the teams, both much changed from their last league games, but both nonetheless pretty strong sides, with Coventry City lining up with Ben Wilson in goal, a back four, Milan van Ivak, Louis Binks, Bobby Thomas and Jake Bidwell. Jamie Allen and Josh Eccles in front of the back four, as Eccles almost sends Thomas Asante through, and misplaced kick by the keeper, a chance for Bissett, and a shot is saved for Tony with a shot, Well saved by Forster, who makes up for his own error, having kicked the ball straight to Rodoni, who from outside the penalty area very nearly gave the Sky Blues a dream start.
Oh, they did do it. It's Forster and Bentancur getting in the muddle. It was tight for Forster. I don't think he should be giving the ball there. Bentancur loses it. Rodoni a flash shot, and Forster makes up with it with a smart save down to his left-hand side.
So a corner on the Coventry City right, and it's Rodoni who's about to take it, but the referee has seen some pushing and shoving. This ritual that we have at so many corners these days, where the referee talks to a couple of players who no doubt ignore him completely, and Rodoni will have to have another go at taking this corner on the Coventry City right. Every Spurs player is back in the penalty area to defend it. The 6-yard box is absolutely packed with players from both teams. It's curled towards the near post, and Forster just about manages to grab hold of that and keep it in.
Well, the one thing you can do in these early stages is try and capitalise on some players who may have not had many minutes. I mean, Forster's certainly not played for quite a while, and under a little bit of pressure there, gave a tight ball in, still trying to play. Bentancur wasn't in the team at the weekend, again got caught trying to play it, and they're the opportunities Coventry have got to try and thrive on, really, and you get those situations, try and make it count.
I was going through the teams. I think I got as far as Jack Rodoni, the number 10, in the number 10 role for the Sky Blues. He's got Brandon Thomas Asante to his right, Hadji Wright to his left, and the teenager Norman Bissett leading the line up front. Spurs in possession now as Odobert tries to get them going. He's forced back, gives it to Bentancur, and now out to the left wing for Tottenham Hotspur for Werner. And they play it back to the halfway line. They have Forster in goal. Back four of Gray, Dragusin, Udogie and Davis, their captain. Bentancur, Sarr and Bergville, the midfield players. Bergville making his first start for Spurs. Odobert, Solanke and Werner are the front three. And it comes to Dragusin for Spurs, just inside his own half. He lays it off to Davis. The Welsh international switches it to the right, beautifully controlled by Odobert, and he plays it towards the edge of the penalty area. Spurs try and create something here, but it's scrambled away. There was Hadji Wright helping the defence, managed to get the ball away to some sort of safety, and now as Bissett turns, he is brought down there, and he's saying that should be a yellow card.
Well, it should be a yellow card. Ben Davis knows exactly what's happening. Bissett's quick, he lets the ball run through, and it's just a blatant body check. If the referee doesn't put him in the book, there's something wrong here.
Darren England has settled for a warning for Ben Davis.
These are things that send you absolutely mad. I guarantee if you have a look at that one again, Ben Davis knows exactly what he's doing. The key is, you get a centre-back on a yellow card at this early stage of the game, and, they're treading on eggshells.
Well, he got away with it that time, but the ball is with Spurs and their keeper Forster. We have a Premier League referee. I think Coventry City fans will be pleased to know, after what happened at Wembley, that there is no VAR at this stage of the Carabao Cup. That's something that Spurs will have to get used to, of course. Well, they have it with Odobert, plays it up towards the halfway line, but it's a misplaced pass, and Eccles collects for Coventry City and gives it to Louis Binks. Out to the left-hand side to Bidwell. Infield for Wright, who looks to turn, but he's tightly marked there by Gray. He still has it right, though. Eventually he needs two Spurs players to take the ball off him, but then Solanke is tackled by Eccles, but it comes back for Spurs, and Gray, who plays it forward for Werner. The Sky Blues appeal for an offside, and they get it.
Yeah, good line from Coventry. Wright just couldn't get it out of his feet, could he? He was being harried by Pape and Archie Gray. Archie Gray eventually won it off him, and then just played Werner in, who was making a run in behind, but he'd gone a little bit too early. Coventry was a good line, he was offside.
Free kick to the Sky Blues just outside their penalty area. 0-0 in the early stages here. You're just tuning in. Remember, it was an 8 o'clock kickoff, so we just played 5.5 minutes so far And the Sky Blues the closest to scoring when Jack Rodoni forced a full stretch save from Fraser Forster. And the Sky Blues have a throw in inside their own half, out of the right hand side. Van Avac to take it. And comes up towards halfway, but Coventry City lose it. They get it back again though, and here's Bissett, who has pace, and Tottenham players won't be used to him, and he charges down the right wing. Eventually he's reeled in, but he still has the ball at his feet, and as he won another free kick, he went over maybe a little easily there and doesn't get the free kick, but it is a Sky Blues throw.
Well, he's up against Ben Davies, wasn't he? He's got too much pace for Ben Davies. He recovered well in the end. Nobody could catch Bissett up, but you can see the pace he's got down that right-hand side when, when he's got an opportunity.
It's going to be a Milan Van Avac long throw. Goes in towards the corner of the 6-yard box. His run-up might have been slightly hampered by a cameraman right on him. Such is the profile of this game. The ball is played out to the right by Bidwell and picked up by Van Avac. And back to Eccles, who curls it in. And Binks goes for it, and Forster gets it at second attempt. The flag didn't go up. Binks was onside. But he couldn't quite get it. It's Bobby Thomas, I should say, who was onside. He couldn't quite get on the end of it. Forster just about took it off him. Yeah,
Bobby Thomas has stayed up from the long throw actually, which was good. They'd loaded the far post. It was probably a little bit too much air on it, wasn't there? And Forster, he's about 6'6", isn't he? He's positive coming off his line. I love to see that with the goalkeeper. Although he's not had much game time at the moment, he was sharp there to come, 8, 9, 10 yards off his line and catch it before Thomas could head towards goal.
Well, it is a terrific atmosphere inside the arena. As I mentioned earlier, it's not full, probably looking at 25,000 maybe, but they're making plenty of noise. And Spurs, who want to progress in this competition, and pass there goes astray as Ben Davies tried to find Timo Werner, but he couldn't quite reach it before it goes out.
That's interesting in the early stages, isn't it? Coventry have had a corner, they've had a long throw, and the one thing that people are saying about Spurs is they are vulnerable at set plays. I think anybody who watched the game at the weekend saw Arsenal score that way to win the game. And some of these times, when people talk about it can prey on your mind. You can actually be better at things than what you actually are, than what people think. And, sometimes you can lose a little bit of confidence with it. And, Coventry, again, if they're looking at areas that could possibly win this game, it may be a good set play in the right area, catch one of the Spurs players flat-footed.
It's already been a goal. The other tie being played tonight. Brighton lead Wolves by 1-0. A long ball played forward by Coventry allows Fraser Forster to collect it for Tottenham Hotspur. By the way, for whoever wins this tie, they'll have to wait a week before knowing who they play in the next round. The ties are spread over 2 weeks in this round because of the Champions League and the Europa League. So the draw isn't made until next Wednesday. One of these teams, and only one, will be in it because the tie will be decided by penalties if necessary tonight. 0-0, 9.5 minutes gone. Spurs have a throw-in halfway inside their own half, taken by Ferguson, who finds Gray, still only 18 years of age. Archie Gray has played here before for Leeds, played in both the games for Leeds last season against Coventry. He's on the ball now, he turns on it. Only 18 years of age, Oggy, and apparently cost £30 million.
No, he's incredible talent. I mean, he looked good for Leeds last year, didn't he? In a very tender age. You can see he's inverted fullbacks a lot of the time, Spurs, when they've got possession. They'll keep the ball for fun.
Here's Werner, fed by Bergville, gives it back to Bergville in the penalty area. Well, a tackle made there by Thomas prevents the young Swede from getting through, and now Thomas Asante tries to get Coventry City going, but he's quickly crowded by Spurs players, and they have it on the halfway line. Field a weakened side against Fulham last season and ended up losing on penalties, so hasn't quite gone as far in terms of using squad or young players in this time round. Postecoglou as Tottenham get it back to their goalkeeper in a vibrant yellow. Fraser Forster, he plays it short to Andrew Dragusin, who brings it up towards the halfway line. Long ball out towards the left-hand side, but Van Eyck is able to chest it back to his keeper. Likely that Coventry City will have to tolerate Tottenham having a lot of the ball tonight, Loggy.
Well, they will do. You can see that. I mean, they love possession. I think they're probably one of the best possession, if not the best possession side in the Premiership. It's incredible, the stats. But as we all know, possession doesn't win games. You know, you've got to do something with it. I mean, what they will do is they will change tempo. They'll be trying to thread those balls, you know, between our midfield players. They'll have wide players running in, and they've got real pace when they get it right. So Coventry have got to be on the ball and concentrated 100% of the time.
Here are Spurs on the left-hand side. Timo Werner plays the ball in towards the penalty area, and it's fired in there from the left-hand side, but blocked. And Tottenham bring it back again. Radoni couldn't keep possession, and so Tottenham Hotspur threaten again, and they're just inside the penalty area, but forced back by the Sky Blues, and the fans enjoy that defending. I think a free kick has been given to Tottenham for a push, but they forced Tottenham back after they got towards the penalty area.
They did. It was Josh Eccles not giving the ghost up. Eventually he pushed a little bit too hard, but it's always good, a signal of intent to say that you're going to go toe-to-toe with your opposition players.
And here are Spurs again. It's Gray out to the right-hand side for Odegaard in towards the edge of the penalty area, but that's a misplaced pass, and Eccles gets it to Radoni. He tries to play an early pass, but doesn't get the time, playing against Premier League players, and that's cut out and blocked by Sarr. Throw into Coventry City, halfway inside their own half.
It was something Mark Robbins talked about, wasn't it, before the game, the speed that you know, the opposition will press. I mean, Spurs have got particularly good stats when it comes to pressing and winning the ball in good areas. You know, it's a different team today, but they'll be coached the same, and they'll be looking to hunt the ball in those areas where they feel Coventry might be vulnerable on a turnover.
It's Tottenham Hotspur again, building from defence. Ben Davies, who hasn't played a Premier League game so far this season, mind you, he has played 250 or so in his time with Spurs. Just out of it a little bit this season. 88 caps for Wales. Here are the Sky Blues, and Louis Binks is hurried into passing it back to Ben Wilson, who has to be careful as he's challenged by Solanke. His kick, Wilson's a long kick, almost got over the top of the Tottenham defence, but they're able to collect. And now Spurs with a doggy.
It was a good kick, wasn't it? And Asante probably couldn't win it against Ben Davies, but he had Bissett running in behind, and you know, if Davies had misjudged it, or Thomas Asante had won that, Bissett would have been through.
Spurs on the left with Werner, who's on the corner of the penalty area, plays it along the ground into the area, but it's dealt with by Binks, who gets it away for a throw to Spurs just inside the Coventry City half. Still goalless. So far, Coventry City dealing with Tottenham's threat pretty well. It's the Sky Blues that have forced the one save of the game thus far, albeit that chance was rather gifted to them. Jack Radoni slips and allows Tottenham to get the ball again, and here they are on the break. A good tackle comes in from Binks, who has to have a second go to get it clear. Denied Timo Werner initially, and then managed to get it away safely for a Spurs throw on that left-hand side. And here is Archie Gray for Spurs out there. Oh, good tackle by Bidwell, and the Sky Blues try and break. Jake Bidwell, infield to Radoni. He plays it out to the left. Bissett couldn't play it because he was offside, so he let it run, hoping that Haji Wright would reach it. He couldn't, and the attack breaks down.
Well, Jake Bidwell doing really well against Odegaard there. Odegaard tried to turn him, Jake Bidwell won it, and all of a sudden we're away, and Bidwell just didn't have the pace to accelerate further away. And Odegaard's got a problem, actually. He's just
Wilson Odegaard's gone down. The Frenchman holding the back of his leg. I don't think it's a contact injury. Looks like he might have tweaked something.
Well, they won't want to bring on one of the, say, big hitters. They're all big hitters, but Brennan Johnson was playing in that position at the weekend. You may have seen him this evening, but he probably wouldn't want to have 75 minutes. However, Postegalu's hand might be forced here if this is a bad one.
And both sets of players are taking the opportunity to have a little timeout. Rob Gurney with us, who was there also in 87.
I was.
You were pitch side, weren't you?
I was, yeah, behind the goal where Gary Mabbott connected with Lloyd McGrath's cross with his knee to float the ball into the net for the winner in the 1987 FA Cup final. But the Sky Blues look very well organised, disciplined, committed as you'd expect. I mean, Spurs do look a threat when they come forward, and you both acknowledge that they're going to have plenty of the ball tonight. But Jack Redoni forcing Fraser Forster into that early save. And again, the fans have been exceptional so far again today, and they are going to be so important, I think, to the outcome of this tie potentially.
Well, Wilson Odegaard is hobbling off. Started the season actually in the Championship with Burnley, scored the opening day of the season before his move to Tottenham, and he has played a couple of Premier League games, but he is going to have to be replaced here. So maybe Postecoglou might regret not giving him a little bit of a rest for this game.
Well, they've got Mickey Moore on the bench. Is he 16 or something like that? I was just reading up about him. He's a real potential find for the future, isn't he? Gone through their academy, but they're going to play safe, aren't they? I think it's
Brennan Johnson.
Yeah, Brennan Johnson
will come on.
It doesn't get any easier for Coventry, by the way. He's a pretty decent
the bench
player.
Bench is almost frightening. So Brennan Johnson takes his position on the right of midfield. That's a foul free kick to the Sky Blues as Jamie Allen is kicked as he tries to play the ball. Free kick halfway inside their own half. Just looking at the regular on the bench, Son Heung-min. James Maddison, of course, we hope gets on at some point, because he'll get a big welcome from the Sky Blues fans. It's Sky Blues subs, by the way, who are limbering up in front of us now, getting a good reception. They've got Kuleveski as well. Jed Spence. Long ball from the Sky Blues. Redoni gives chase, but it's a forlorn chase, and the ball bounces in the hands of Forster.
Yeah, a bit too long and straight from Coventry. I'm all for playing in behind, but you can't play in behind from that distance. It's too easy for the Spurs players, and you'd have to really catch the napping, and they'd have to be off the mark to be caught out with the ball like that.
Tottenham striding forward in the form of Davis, who's crossed the halfway line, plays it to a doggy. Knocks it down the line to Werner, back to a doggy. They're back to halfway for Davis. And holds on to it and then squares it to Archie Gray. Long lob up front for him, looking for Brennan Johnson, who volleys it across into the penalty area. Bergville trying to get on the end of it, does well. Johnson can't play it because he's come back for an offside position, but he gets it now from a pass and fires in on the right, and it's a miss by the Sky Blues defender, but it runs kindly for Coventry, and Thomas Asante is able to collect it outside the penalty area, and he gives it to Bobby Thomas, who gets a long clearance up to halfway. Spurs win it again. It is Bergville.
Really good play from Thomas Asante there. The ball came from the right hand side from Johnson, and he was there, he was in the right position, managed to get there, pick up the bits before Udogie could get there.
Now Tottenham breaking with Sarr out to the right hand side. It comes into Gray, and Johnson tries to find Gray again, but Gray hadn't made the run, and the Sky Blues are able to collect. They lose it though, can't afford to do that, and Spurs on halfway and come forward again with Davis, who's been very busy, and plays it to his right to Gray, who his pass is slightly misread by Dragusin, but the centre half recovers pretty quickly. But then Redoni puts Gray under pressure. He still manages to get it to Davis. Davis, ball up to the halfway line. Sky Blues fans appreciating, though, Coventry City's efforts to win the ball. It was Eccles who went in with the tackle there. Now they're claiming the ball's gone out, but the flag stays down, and Timo Werner for Tottenham. Out to the right-hand side to Johnson, who has to scamper back to collect. Gives it back to Werner, who's switched from left to right. And he holds on to it with his orange boots. Back to Bergville, the 18-year-old, in towards the corner of the penalty area. Plays it back to Werner, but his touch is too heavy, and it bounces out for the first corner of the game for Tottenham.
Yeah, Coventry are going to have to do a lot of chasing there. They're going to have to stay in shape. They're going to have to be patient. They're going to have to know when to nick the ball and try and win it and put pressure on, and also when to, be set in a pattern. Jamie Allen doing well there. Couldn't pass through him. He saw a chance to have a bite at the ball. Yes, he won it, but it's a corner for Spurs.
So Lucas Bergville to take the corner. It was a near post. It's flicked across the 6-yard box and just about scrambled away. Sky Blues looked a little uncertain with that corner, but they survive it, and they will now get a free kick.
Santi and Van Avac doing enough there. It was Ben Davis that found himself in a position. He was trying to weave his way through, but there was too much pushing from Ben, and the referee saw it that way. Coventry free kick.
James Maddison has, along with the other Spurs subs, just been limbering up down below us, getting a good reception from the fans down here. Bidwell touches the ball for Haji Wright. Oh, his tackle, that's good defending from Benton Kerr. Got the tackle in quickly and took the momentum away from the Sky Blues. But they do have a throw. Bidwell to take it, finds Rodoni on the left-hand side. He tries to cut inside. Both teams are appealing for it, and it is a goal kick to Spurs.
Well, he's been bright, Rodoni. He's been on the front foot. He's the one who wants to get at Spurs, try and catch them in possession. You could see him there, 1v1, trying to get round Dragusin. This time his touch was a little bit too much, but I like the positivity of the player. Try and put these Spurs players under pressure, make them uncomfortable in those 1v1 situations, and see if something opens up for you.
Halfway through the first half, it remains goalless. It's Spurs in possession with Dragusin. He plays it out to his right. And the lock ball down the line from Benton Kerr is cut out, and Spurs get a throw just inside the Coventry City half. Archie Gray to take it. And he tries to find Benton Kerr, but he's been tightly marked by Rodoni. Gets it back to Gray, and now Dragusin back to Forster in the Spurs goal. Looks a little unsettled in the first few minutes, Forster, but perhaps calming down now a little bit. As Tottenham walk the ball up to the halfway line. Davis. He plays it back to Fraser Forster. Finds Dragusin. Out to the right-hand side to Bergville. Bergville plays it back to Benton Kerr. Now it's Sarr. And Bergville plays it in towards Solanke, but the Sky Blues just about managed to get it away. It's Bobby Thomas who gets it clear. Now Binks has to deal with Solanke, and Solanke gets the ball back. And Spurs, confident back heel there. And eventually a foul by Binks, for which I think he's getting a yellow card.
It's his first foul, and that was a yellow card, to be honest, but it's just galling when I look at Ben Davis, 5 minutes into the game not receiving one. OK, Ben Davis didn't go to ground, but he knew exactly what he was doing, as Binks did then.
Yellow cards in this competition only count in this competition. If you get two, you miss the next game. The only two Coventry City players who were on yellow cards were Casey Palmer. Well, that's not a problem anymore because he's left the club, and Jay Da Silva, who is not actually noted in the match day squad. So whether he's suffered some sort of injury, We will have to find out. So they don't have to worry about that. So then obviously Tottenham don't, because this is their first game in the competition this season. So anyway, either team will get suspensions will be if they get red cards. Bergville with this free kick. On the right, not far outside the penalty area. He curls it in towards the far post, and it's almost beaten everybody. The referee decides it's come off Bobby Thomas, who actually looks the least complaining of the Coventry City players.
Yeah, it was
maybe
one of those.
He did get a touch.
It was bent in behind him, wasn't it? And he did get a touch.
Corner taken short, and then fired in from deep, and almost turned into a shot there, which Ben Wilson is able to gather comfortably.
Yeah, Ben Wilson will be pleased with that. He's finally got a touch of the ball. He's had to do something across, just under his crossbar, nicely held. It's always nice to get into a game with a good clean catch.
And Bergville takes the ball off Bissett, but Coventry City give it back. A lot of teenagers playing in this game, by the way, which is quite refreshing to see. Here's Thomas, forward to Radoni, who stops and checks, turns, gives it to Bidwell on the left, out to Hadji right, moving towards the penalty area, plays it to Bidwell, who continued his run. His cross is not brilliantly dealt with by the defence before it's eventually more solidly cleared. But it was a good cross from Bidwell and a good break from the Sky Blues. And here's Bidwell again. Plays it down the line for Adoni. Thinks about the first time cross, changes his mind. Back to Bidwell. He does cross it first time. It's high in the air. Thomas Asante does well to head it back to Allen. Out to the right hand side for Van Avaak. His shot is cut out. The block made by Werner, and the Sky Blues get their second corner.
Oh, a real opportunity, that good build-up from Coventry. They kept the attack going once Spurs had cleared. They had 4 players in the box there when Jamie Allen played it to Van Avaak. It's really got to be a better cross from Van Avaak, really. 4 bodies in the box. I'm disappointed he's not got it somewhere around them.
Well, 28th minute. Chance to test Tottenham on set pieces, and Postecoglou got a bit testy when that was brought up after the North London derby. Argue that even though they conceded one, they actually defended set pieces pretty well. Let's see how they cope with this one. Almost everybody's inside the 6-yard box. Good luck to the referee for spotting to spot what's going on in there, and it's floated in and punched away by Forster under a little bit of pressure. Did pretty well there, the keeper, in the end.
Did brilliantly.
And Sky Blues come again with Radoni, who took the corner. There's a return pass to Eccles.
Sorry, Clive, I'm jumping in there. We were talking about this. Dovin is having this period, isn't he, where the ball's been thrown into 6-yard box. As a goalkeeper, there's probably about 16, 17 bodies in there. You've got to get something on it and get it into good areas. Foster did that really, really well there. Just anything, because with that many players in the box, it's unlikely it's going to go to somebody who can score.
Throw in taken by Van Avaak, takes it deep rather than going for a long throw into the penalty area. Forster drops it momentarily as it's floated into the penalty area by Eccles. 2 Sky Blues forwards near him, but he recovered the ball quickly, did the Spurs keeper, and now they look to launch the attack. Udogie got all the way to the halfway line, but Coventry City win the ball back, and Radoni forward doesn't find Bissett. It's well read by Davis, who cuts it out. And Spurs have it again. 29 minutes gone. Coventry City 0, Tottenham Hotspur 0. In the Carabao Cup, the League Cup. And here for Spurs is Radu Dragusin. Gives it to Benton Kerr. Out to the left-hand side. Comes to Werner. Infield for Davis. To Dragusin. Spurs prepared to be patient. The ball out to the right-hand side. It's collected by Sarr. Then to Johnson. Infield to Gray. Coventry pressing, and Tottenham go back their own half just for a moment. Dragusin slipped there, but he actually kept his footing well in the end to avoid embarrassment. And the ball is passed back to Forster, who's challenged by Bissett, but plays a short pass to safety to Gray. Infield for Dragusin, back again to Forster.
They're proving a tough nut to crack, aren't they, Coventry? 4-2-3-1 in possession, 4-5-1 out of possession number. Holds the front. He's the focal point, somebody that can hit if they win the ball. But even Wright tracking back a lot further back than he normally does, in the weekend games.
Spurs now with possession. They've been in the attacking third quite a bit without actually creating clear-cut chances. And have it out on that left-hand side with the doggy, who's prepared to get the fair way forward, and he's won a free kick there in a dangerous position on the left wing. Milan van Eyck pleads his innocence, but then picks up his opponent, and Spurs have a chance. This is a little bit better than a corner.
Well, it is, and it's a needless free kick for Van Eyck to give away. I mean, listen, the Spurs player's going nowhere. He's got his back to goal. He's going to the byline. He just pushes him over, and all this does is give Spurs an opportunity to bring the big men forward. They'll have worked with things on the training ground. Opportunity for them to put the ball in with real quality.
It's Bergville to take it. Ed Davis is in a prominent position. So is Dragusin. Every Sky Blues player's back in the penalty area to defend it. Thomas Asante is a one-player wall. It's floated towards the near post, and it's headed away there by Louis Binks. Tottenham will try and recycle with Gray, but they are forced back to halfway. Dealt with that set piece pretty well.
Yes, they did. Binks holding his ground, getting a good header, getting it into safe areas. Coventry can get out, and again, you'll see this almost like a 4-5-1. It doesn't look like it at the moment, but it will be once Spurs get good possession.
Yeah, he'll be keen to do well, Louis Binks. I was fortunate enough to have a little chat with Bradley Allen in the programme before this, who's here for BBC Radio London, as he been with the Tottenham Academy for 20 years now, and he talked highly of Binks and said how delighted he is to see him here, having started out in the Tottenham Hotspur Academy. That's the Sky Blues of Thomas Asante's won a throw-in near the corner flag on the Coventry right, and Milan van Eyck trots over to take it, and it does look as if he's going to throw it in long. It's a tactic that Coventry City use fairly sparingly, but it's the second time they'll have done it tonight. Makes a signal, Van Eyck, and lofts it in. Up goes Thomas, gets ahead to it. Ball bounces inside the penalty area before Ben Davis hits it over and round his back and gets it away. Van Eyck now tries to break down the right, but he runs out of room, and Simo Verma brings it away for Spurs, and he's still on the run all the way up to the halfway line, but he's checked by Radoni. Oh, the crowd enjoyed that as Jack Radoni wins the ball off Werner and then goes on a break out to the right to Van Eyck. Van Eyck with a cross hits the defender, and Coventry City have corner number 3.
Well played, Jack Radoni there. There's Tina Werner that was breaking down the left-hand side, and he just stuck to him like a limpet, wasn't going to let him go. Werner tried to check inside, Radoni took the ball off him, and Coventry could counter. Van Eyck getting the ball down the right and earning Coventry another corner.
Jack Radoni again. This time they haven't crowded the 6-yard box. There's 4 Coventry City players virtually standing on 5, in fact, now standing almost all on the penalty spot. They'll scatter as the ball is delivered. In it goes, and Binks nearly got there. Forced it in well again, got a punch onto it. Allen heads it back in. It's still inside the 6-yard box. Thomas Asante tries the overhead kick, but the referee had long since blown his whistle for a push, and it will be a free kick to Spurs. But Sky Blues causing 1 or 2 problems with these corners.
Well, Radoni's got really good delivery. We've seen that, from games before, and he's whipping it in near post. Forster couldn't get there. There was too many bodies blocking him, and Spurs couldn't really get an effective clearance. So it's a bit of a, pinball for, just a moment, and then Asante, you could see the arms from here go up, pushing his opponent. That's enough for the referee to blow up and relieve the pressure.
In the other League Cup tie tonight, Brighton did go 2-0 up against Wolves, but Wolves have got one back now. It's 2-1. And in the Champions League, Celtic have taken lead against Slovan Bratislava. They lead by a goal to 0. Here it remains 0-0. We've got about 10 minutes to go to half-time. Spurs up to the halfway line with Dragusin. There's it to Bentancur, back to Dragusin. Stops and checks into the centre circle to Davis. The Spurs captain takes it over the halfway line. Now chipped it out to the right-hand side, looking for either Bergville or Johnson. He found neither in the end, and it's collected by Ben Wilson, who I think, for Mark Robbins' liking, took a bit too long to get that ball moving again. Judging from Robbins' reaction on the bench, he's wearing the regulation Coventry City, the new training kit they have this season, the new tracksuit kit, the blue, and Ange Postecoglou wearing a long black coat. At the edge of his technical area, over the top ball, bounces towards the keeper, Forster, who gathers it.
Yeah, Ben Wilson's had to do that a number of times, just go from back to front. I think he's aware of the quality press that Spurs have got. I mean, sometimes you can be... I'll just break off.
It's Spurs in possession with Johnson. Now it's out to the right-hand side, and the long legs of Sarr bring the ball into the middle. He tries to play it to the penalty area, but it's cut out by Bidwell. Archie Gray, he was fouled, but the referee's played an advantage, and it's Johnson into the penalty area. It was dealt with, but in the end it didn't have to be because there was an offside, and Coventry City will get a free kick.
Well, I think it was it Wright or hold on, I'm trying to think, was it Bidwell, one of the two that lost it there, and then all of a sudden the ball's played down there, but Bobby Thomas read it really well, came across, you could see Solanke clip him, and he's earned himself a foul. But yeah, what I was going to say a little bit earlier was the fact that, you know, we know Spurs are very, very good at pressing, and sometimes the reputation's enough to put people off playing too many short passes at the back. So Coventry have got to be brave enough to be able to keep possession and move the ball in the right areas, but aware that that press is coming as well.
Haji Wright plays the ball down the left to Bidwell. Jake Bidwell with a cross from the left. Radoni beats it, and it's blocked by a defender on the edge of the 6-yard box. It looked like a chance for Jack Radoni. Hit it first time, but there was a defender there covering who prevented it going further towards goal. Tottenham try and counter-attack, and but they're slowed down, but they still have it on that left-hand side. Udogie plays it into the middle. Bergville now for Spurs. Lays it off for Sarr. Into the penalty area for Johnson. All along the ground into the area, but no Spurs player there to get on the end of it. And Josh Eccles brings it away for Coventry. And he plays the ball for Bissett to chase. And Bissett gets there. Not a Bissett with a shot. And it's tipped over the bar by Forster. Although the referee's given a goal kick. It looked like a very good save from here. It was a good break, but a goal kick is what's been given.
Yeah, the referee's got that one wrong. It's right in front of us. It was a lovely long ball. Bissett's got the pace to get in behind. Lovely left foot shot, and Forster definitely got a fingertip to put that ball over. A little bit earlier as well, there was a really good chance for Coventry. Bidwell out on the left, good deep cross. Radoni meeting it on the half volley. Tried to side foot it in the corner, that was blocked. But I tell you what, you know, if he misses the block, he scores. Two good opportunities for Coventry.
Forster will have mixed feelings, won't he? He gets the goal kick, but he's denied the save because it was a good save. The referee was running from
I'm going to say
halfway.
Privately, that is a frustration for goalkeepers. You make a great save, but nobody sees it.
Goal kick. Here with Bergville for Spurs on the corner of the penalty area. Sky Blues players getting back to try and deal with him. Haji Wright there wins the free kick in the end for the Sky Blues with 6 minutes to go to half-time. So a couple of chances of late for Coventry City.
Well, the best chances have come to Coventry. I mean, you talk about the Radoni shot early on in the game. Radoni again there, and then the Bissett. You know, so it has been all Coventry from a chances point of view.
I've seen the replay. That's a clear save from Forster. A clear tip over the bar.
Yeah, referee didn't see it clearly. Sisson was on the far side, so he probably couldn't help. It was a good save. It was also a good effort, let's say that as well, from Norman Bissett.
Well, the thing is with Bissett, it's a good call to play him today because he's got pace, he plays on shoulders, he's man for man a lot of the time. You know, the Spurs defenders will leave him there. You know, and if you can get the ball into him, I think we've seen, even at this early stage of his career, he can run. I mean, he's only 19, he's got barely no experience in English football, but tell you what, if he keeps going like this, he's going to be a very, very good player.
Yeah, Norman Bissett, a Belgian. He's the last signing Coventry City made in the transfer window.
He's strong and willing, isn't he? And I think he's got a little bit of an edge about him as well. He looks like he feels that he should be there.
Yeah. Now Jamie Allen gets the ball forward. Here is Bissett, who shrugs off a challenge and turns. He's inside his own half. He plays it forward for Thomas Asante to chase, but he's rather overhit it.
Yeah, he's done brilliant to win the ball strong, to turn, and then, that's youth, isn't it? That's inexperience. He just tried to force a ball that was never on.
So 0-0. Sky Blues might be frustrated they haven't found a way through. They've come close 3 times now. And Spurs haven't really carved out much for the way of chances, even though they play some very good football. Here's Dragusin in the centre circle for them. Forward to Gray. Back to Dragusin. Remember, Tottenham do have the cavalry to call on the bench. Have already had to because of an injury. Bring Brennan Johnson on. They've got Son Heung-min. They've got James Maddison. Kuzeski's on there as well. So there are plenty of options if they find themselves still in a tight tie in the second half. They have the ball now inside their own half. Bergville runs across the half. Showed a bit of pace there, Bergville. And he's outrun Eccles. Eccles has stayed with them and manages to slow him down. And now it's given to Pape Sarr out to the left-hand side for Udogie, who chases the return ball from Werner, but that's overhit, and it's out for a goal kick to Coventry City.
That probably sums Spurs up in this first half when they're attacking. I mean, you can see, Bergville gets on the ball quite a lot. He's a young player, isn't he? Looks as if he's going to be decent. Pepe Sarr's on it. They get it in wide areas. But Van Eyck, he's quick enough, and, Werner can't go by him. He tried to there, got the overlap on. Jamie Allen had followed the man. Everybody doing the job really well defensively so far.
Still 0-0. Remember, a tie that will go straight to penalties if it's still level at 90. There's no extra time in the Carabao Cup this season. And this goal kick is a long one. Bissett gets his head to it. Haji Wright tries to get on the ball, but it's won instead by Johnson. And Dragusin back to the keeper, Bissett, but he forced her under pressure, but the Tottenham keeper keeps his nerve and gives it to Davis, up to Udogie. He plays a 1-2 with Werner now. A good strong tackle comes in on him from Thomas, and Coventry City get the ball back again. And here's Eccles out to the right to Thomas Asante. He's got Bissett outside him. He plays it to the penalty area, looking for Haji Wright, who just couldn't quite reach it as it went across the 6-yard box. Goal kick Spurs.
Well, Radoni winning the ball again, actually, in midfield, and we have a break this time down the right-hand side. Thomas Asante putting the ball in. It was always a yard too quick for Wright coming in on the far post. Just needed to probably delay it a wee bit, and then just see if Wright could get across his man.
Free kick given to Spurs. They tried to take it quickly, but they took it with a moving ball, so they'll have to take it again. Solanke was fouled. And the free kick on the halfway line. We've got just over a minute to go. It's been fast-paced first half. Shouldn't think there'll be too much stoppage time, though. There was an injury delay and a substitution, so there might be 1 or 2 minutes. As Spurs lost the services of Wilson Odobert, who had to be replaced by Brennan Johnson after picking up an injury. Looked like a non-contact injury. Spurs have a throw halfway inside the Coventry City half. And Udogie lobs it in towards the corner of the area, but it's won by Thomas, who comes away with the ball and plays it back to Van Eyck, to his keeper Wilson. Ben Wilson be challenged here by the Swedish teenager Bergville, who jumped in front of him but couldn't intercept the ball. But now Coventry City lose it in midfield, and it's Brennan Johnson. Bidwell gets half a tackle in, but Johnson keeps the ball, gives it to Sarr, back to halfway. Now with Benton Kerr. Forward comes out to the right. There's space here for Archie Gray. He curls across him, but it's too close to the keeper, and it's comfortably taken by Ben Wilson. And we have a minute of first half stoppage time to play. BBC CWR and BBC 5 Sports Extra, bringing this Carabao Cup tie for Spurs fans. Please understand, it is your Coventry City Coventry team here, but I think we're being fair, and I'm sure you enjoy hearing from Steve Igrizovic, who you'll remember from 1987, and Gavin and Stacey, no doubt, as well. Here are Tottenham with the ball.
More famously for that one.
The ball's played in towards the penalty area. It's overhit, though, by Sarr and collected by Ben Wilson. And we're almost at the end of a first half in which, in truth, Coventry City have come closest to scoring. They've had the 3 chances, forced 2 saves and a block. That's how we saw it, although officially one of them wasn't saved, apparently. It clearly was. But for the most part, the Sky Blues defence, although tested and stretched at times, they've kept Spurs out, and that's why there's good applause from the Coventry City fans as the half-time whistle blows. We're still all square at half-time. Maybe the Sky Blues might reflect at the end of the game, or might have been in that first half, as they came close from Radoni early on, and from Bissett and Radoni again inside that first half. But at half-time, Coventry City 0, Tottenham Hotspur 0. Thoughts on the first half from Steve Igrizovic?
Well, bearing in mind the quality of opposition that Coventry are up against, I think it was a really good, positive first half. I mean, they bossed the majority of it, not necessarily with possession or stats, but certainly, you know, on the eye. And the 3 best chances have come Coventry's way. It was, in the first 5 minutes, wasn't it? Foster's first touch, plays Bentancur into trouble. I think Radoni wins the ball, and then bang, he's having a shot straight away, and Foster redeems himself really with a smart save to his left-hand side. Radoni has another chance, doesn't he, halfway through that half. Long ball from Bidwell, falls on the off volley far post. I think he tries to be a little bit too exact really, tries to side foot it in the corner. That one's blocked, and then Bissett has a great opportunity, 1-for-1 with Dragusin, takes it early with his left foot, and although the referee gave a goal kick, I'm telling you, it was a really good save from Foster. He hit it well and forced to tip the ball over. Nothing from Spurs. I can't remember a shot really on or off target. Nice pretty possession. You can see they've got a threat, you can see the quality, but they've not shown it in the top third of the pitch at the moment, and that's down to the way Coventry have approached the game. You know, they get forward well, but as soon as they lose the ball, it's been that 4-5-1 formation almost to starve Spurs of any space and to make it uncomfortable for them.
I think the telling stat is, Rob Gurney, that Tottenham have had 74% of possession, but they've had no efforts on goal to Coventry's 4, and the official stats give the Sky Blues 2 on target, because presumably they have to count the one that was saved by Forster as off target, even though we all know that it was on. So it's 3 on target.
Yeah, it is. 74% possession for Spurs, as Clive says, to Coventry's 26. 4 attempts, 2 on target, 1 shot off target, 1 blocked shot. Nothing from Spurs. Shots on target, shots off target, all blocked shots. 7 Coventry touches in the Tottenham penalty area to 5 for Spurs in the Sky Blues penalty area. The goalkeeper officially credited with 1 save here for Spurs, although we know it's 2 because we saw the replay and he clearly flicked Bissett's shot over the crossbar. Aerial duels 1-7 for Spurs, 5 for Coventry. That's not really here nor there, is it? And the Sky Blues have edged the corner count 3-2. So a very disciplined first half performance by the Sky Blues. As I say, Steve, lifted by the crowd, and some of the Spurs fans were actually booing, I think, at half-time when their team disappeared down the tunnel.
I can understand why. It's a Premiership side that have had nothing on or off target, and they've had 74% of the ball as well, so it just shows that possession means nothing in football a lot of the time. Coventry have looked the biggest threats, and you know, those 3 opportunities, they may be disappointed that they've not put one of them away. We talked about the team not being ruthless enough on Saturday with a number of really good opportunities. I hope we're not going to say the same tonight, but Coventry are well in this tie, aren't they, you know, with that first half showing. Be interested to see if and when Spurs make changes. Coventry will probably make changes as well, but you know, it's sometimes difficult to lift the tempo off the bench even with your star players, so you know, Coventry have got every opportunity to win this game if they want to.
Yeah, Bissett's pace is worrying Dragusin. That's clear for all to see. One terrific run that Forster tipped over but was given as a goal kick. Redoni, I think, has played his best, certainly for a while here. I mean, he has pulled a lot of the strings in the Sky Blues midfield tonight, hasn't he?
Yes, he has, and the Watford manager cleverly picked him out, didn't he, at the weekend as being the thorn in Watford's side for most of the things. He's been that today as well. He's been good. He's won a lot of possession. He's come deeper than that 10 position that he normally plays to win the ball a lot of the time. He's pleasing on the eye, and he'll be very pleased with that performance. Probably a wee bit disappointing that he's not managed to get on the score sheet as well, particularly with that Bidwell cross. I mean, sometimes you just got to go hell for leather. I think he's made sure he's hit the target than actually gone for the wonder goal. And, had he done that, might have been his day. We might be 1-up.
Yeah, and that mistake from Spurs in the first few seconds that Redoni forced to save out of Forster. Oggy, thank you very much indeed for now. Still all to play for then at the CBS Arena at half-time in the Carabao League Cup third round. It remains Coventry City 0, Tottenham Hotspur 0.
Hi everyone, it's Lindsay Birrow here. My amazing husband Rob recorded some more episodes of his podcast before he passed away. He would want you all to hear them.
We've made some incredible memories already and had so much fun with football legends Stephen and Steph Dowie.
I'm going to be honest, I've never even heard of MND. There's nothing that can be done. I think that's probably the worst bit about it.
Boxing hitman Ricky Allen.
Everyone fancies the chances against me.
I reckon in my heyday that could have taken you in a fight. And my best mate and rugby league legend Kevin Sinfield.
And we're buying everybody drinks all night, and I thought that's unusual for Rob. He put all the drinks in my room.
Coming soon on BBC Sounds.
You send your messages 81333 on the text, 08000 321 333 on WhatsApp, and each occasion please start them with CWR. Ray has done just that. He says really decent first half, some lovely moves, and the whole team up for the battle. Great to see, and that's absolutely spot on from Ray. Thank you very much indeed. Other latest scores then tonight in the Champions League. Couple of results from the early kick-offs. Bologna 0, Shakhtar Donetsk 0, Sparta Prague 3, Red Bull Salzburg 0. Half-time, Celtic 1, Slovan Bratislava 0. Club Brugge 0, Borussia Dortmund 0, Manchester City 0, Inter Milan 0, and Paris Saint-Germain 0, Girona 0. And the other League Cup third round tie tonight is just into the second half. They kicked off earlier than we did here at 8 o'clock. 7:45 kick-off down at the Amex Stadium. Brighton 2, Wolves 1. Brighton 2 up through Carlos Balaba and Simon Adingra. But Gonzalo Guedes pulling one back for Wolves just before half-time. So Brighton 2, Wolves 1 is the latest score there in the League Cup third round. As far as cricket is concerned for Warwickshire, pretty embarrassing defeat to Essex in the county championship before tea on the second day at Edgbaston after being bowled out for 78 in their first innings. It looked like it was going to be worse in the second. They were 38 for 6 before Danny Briggs with 51 and Michael Burgess 28 rescued a smidgen of respectability. The Bears were eventually bowled out for 114. Jamie Porter finishing 6 for 36 in the innings, 9 for 51 in the match. Warwickshire's head coach Mark Robinson spoke to Brian Halford afterwards.
I don't think anything much more could have gone wrong that went wrong in this game. Look, the wicket had plenty in it. We lost the toss on it. And we came across two of the best exponents in those conditions. There isn't a county game, and Cook and Porter outstanding and relentless, and then backed up by Slater. And we were never good enough or able enough to be able to get through their fair spells, really, and the damage was too permanent. And then when it comes to our turn to ball, we probably felt we were right in it at 50 for 5, and it's going around corners, exactly the same, but Rushy goes down and we went out with bowlers, really, and they get to 100 and slogged away to 200, and it's a big lead on that wicket. We turn up today, heavy skies, overcast and everything, and Cook and Porter repeat it. So look, it's one we have to take on the chin. It's one that we can't hide from. I don't think any wicket's ever a 70 all out wicket or 100 all wicket, but it can be occasionally. But it's one we've got to take on the chin. It's not how we wanted to play our last game at Edgbaston in front of our own supporters. It wasn't what we wanted to do. So there's a lot of hurt in the dressing room. There's a lot of feelings of letting people down and a bit of humiliation. So what we just have to do is gather ourselves and dust down and get ready for next week.
It's a test of players, isn't it? When things go wrong to that extent, they've got to bounce back straight away, haven't they? There's another game next week. You can't dwell on it.
Yeah, as I said last week, when there's tired bodies and tired minds due to the nature of the season, it's a long summer, and winning obviously gives you energy, and knowing something to really win a championship where someone gives that energy, and when you're going for a little bit of a bad trot, that's even harder because obviously failing's tiring. So we need, as ever, you need your leaders to step up, and we need to the same goals. To be fair, what we came into this one, we want to finish strong as individuals and as a team, and we deserve that to each other. We've played some good 4-day cricket this year. We've been on top of most games. But last week at Worcester wasn't good enough. I was more annoyed in some ways at Worcester because I think we weren't placed, without any offence to Worcester, we weren't facing the quality of Cook and Porter on a wicket that was so helpful like we were this time. But this one hurts for different reasons.
Mark Robinson, the Warwickshire head coach, with plenty to reflect on along with the players before their final county championship match of the season at Trent Bridge against Nottinghamshire next week. Well, the championship rugby campaign is just a couple of days away from kicking off. Coventry will be looking to take their successful pre-season form into Friday night's opening fixture away to London Scottish after scoring a handsome 7 tries in their victory against newly promoted Chinner in the final friendly last weekend. Head coach Alex Ray very keen for his players to get on with the real business on Friday.
Pre-season's good and well, but you want the out and out winning, losing, mixed emotions and them kind of feelings. So yeah, it feels like a long pre-season, so it'll be nice now to get going on Friday night.
Yeah, Friday night start, I suppose it makes it a little bit earlier for you.
Yeah, it's one less day you have to wait around. We shifted our week, so our week started on Sunday. So today this is a Thursday to me, even though it's Wednesday. So yeah, we're running on a different week, but we're looking forward to getting going now.
Is there a particular difference preparing them for a Friday night away game in particular?
Not really. Obviously, the travel, we've took into account the London travel on a Friday, and we're going to head down a little bit early into a hotel and get there early, have a bite to eat and things like that. So we're trying to mitigate against things that can happen, because there's nothing worse sat on the motorway in London not moving, and you want to be at the game and lads want to be doing the pre-match stuff. So we're trying to mitigate that best we can, and you're still at the, you never know what could happen on the way down, but yeah, we're planning for all eventualities, I suppose.
Expectations always high here. How do you feel the squad is shaping up?
Yeah, look, we've had quite a big turnaround of players, so we've pretty much got a whole new back line. So look, you hope you're going to hit the ground running really well. The forwards pack's pretty settled, and we're experienced in that area. So yeah, probably a little bit of work to do. You're never quite ready, and you probably ask me the same question in 12 weeks and I'll still say the same thing. So yeah, no, look, we're pretty happy with where we're at, and now we just need to play together, I think, and find our stride.
Does it take some matches before you actually know where you are in terms of strength?
Yeah, I've seen it over the years. You see teams win the pre-season games, everyone gets really excited, and they're going to be world beaters, and then they start badly, and vice versa. You can lose all your pre-season games and then you play. But everyone uses pre-seasons for different things, and until you get playing in the thick of a league and there's pressure and there's decisions to be made where points are at play, you start finding more about people then.
Yeah, one player also gone is Pat Pellegrini, and how big a blow is that?
Yeah, obviously, look, Pat was a massive part of what we did, and I don't think you'll find a better attacking fly half in the country, really, in our league especially, and there's not many, you're not going to be able to replace Pat like for like. There's just not them kind of players around, so he's a bit of a one-off, I suppose, and we've brought obviously Tommy and Liam in, and Liam's hasn't had the best pre-season because he'd come here with a bit of an injury, but he's back now, firing fit, so he's putting his stamp on the team, and Tommy will put a different stamp on the team as well, and they're different to Pat, and we're not expecting them to be Pat. Look, Pat's obviously got a brilliant move, and we wish him well, and our 10s are going to probably play a little bit differently this year.
On BBC iPlayer,
I'm on a train. It's the Glasgow to London night sleeper service.
Brand new drama.
I think we may have a problem.
There's been a hijack, sir. So 20th century.
We're being controlled remotely.
This train is now a guided missile.
One of the passengers may be working with the hackers. Don't trust anyone.
You're never getting off, are we?
Night Sleeper. Watch all episodes on BBC iPlayer.
Sky Blues live.
BBC CWR Sport.
It is Terry Gibson. We're just going to have a very quick word with the former Sky Blues and Spurs striker who's made his way up from being interviewed down on the touchline. Terry, great to meet you. What have you made of the first half so far?
Well, I would be, I think, really optimistic if you're a Coventry fan. We're just seeing how Coventry played in the first half. The better quality in the attacking third. I thought Spurs had control of some possession. Bergvall looks dangerous, looks a talented player, but they haven't really produced much in terms of output in front of goal. So I think Coventry, with the crosses that they had, Forster was forced into making a couple of good saves. If I was Mark Robbins, I'd be optimistic for the second half for the Sky Blues.
Just quickly, Rodoni and Bissett looked the main threats for Coventry in the first half, didn't they?
Yeah, and I think every time they get the ball wide, the quality is there in the middle. The strikers will have looked a threat. So I think City look the more threatening team clearly at the moment.
Well done, Terry. Thank you very much indeed. Thanks for sparing us the time. And the second half, as you can hear, is just underway with Oggy and Clive Eakin once again here at the CBS Arena.
Thank you very much indeed. Tottenham Hotspur have made a change at half-time. Jed Spence has come on at right back to replace Destiny Udogie. That is one change at half-time. Jed Spence, who's come off the bench in the Premier League twice this season, did play against the Sky Blues for Leeds, not here but at Ellen Road last season, along with Archie Gray. And that's a like-for-like change from Spurs. Thoughts on that, Steve Grizovic?
Well, they'll be just down to minutes. I think Udogie played obviously at the weekend. Spence, Coventry fans will know him from Middlesbrough. He's been on loan as well at, I forget where it was now. He'll play probably left back, I would have thought, in this Spurs side. In fact, he's on the ball now, I believe.
Yeah, he's played against the Sky Blues actually for Leeds, Forest and Middlesbrough, and did score for Middlesbrough in a 2-0 win at the Riverside against Coventry in October 2020. As the ball is played over the top by Spurs down the right-hand side, the cross comes in. Binks gets his boot around it, but that's going to bounce out. Is it going to bounce out? Oh, it just bounces out for a throw-in. It was a little bit fortunate it didn't go out for a corner. But the throw-in taken quickly. The Sky was almost caught unawares, but they survive it. Now they counter-attack. Hadji Wright is on a run through the middle, and he goes over, but the referee decides there was no foul, and now it's Tottenham Hotspur who try and come forward. That's cut out by Bobby Thomas. It's a fairly breathless start to the second half.
Well, everybody's giving it away.
It's picked up now on the left by Solanke for Tottenham, who runs across the penalty area, plays it out to the right-hand side for Johnson. Brendan Johnson fires it in, deflected and wide for a corner. Spurs first shot on goal, and the deflection, fortunately for the Sky Blues, took it the wrong side of the goal. Corner.
Well, a flurry of turnovers in this first half. I don't know who gave the ball away more, actually. Was it Coventry or Spurs? But anyway, it was Spurs who finally had the effort. It was Brennan Johnson. I think that was troubling Ben Turner. He was diving to his right. Thankfully, it was, just trying to have a look now, Bidwell who got the block, deflected it for a corner.
Bergville with a corner. It's an away swinger. Players falling down inside the penalty area from both teams. The Sky Blues managed to get it away. Jamie Allen out to Thomas. His long clearance will be picked up by Spurs. So the Sky Blues are as they were in the first half. Ben Wilson in goal. A back four of Fan Avac, Binks, Thomas and Bidwell. Allen and Eccles are holding midfield players. Rodoni in the number 10 role. Thomas Asante and Wright out wide. And Bissett in the centre-forward position. Tottenham have Forster in goal. The back four now is Gray, Dragusin, Davis and Spence, who's come on at half-time. They have Bentancur, Sarr and Bergville. And then they have Johnson, who replaced the injured Odebert in the first half, Solanke and Werner. Hadji Wright has just been given a ticking off by the referee, Darren England, who I think felt that he might have somewhat simulated the fall when he went down looking for a free kick a couple of minutes earlier.
There was a chance right at the start of the second half when Wright broke from deep inside his own half, went through about 4 or 5 players into open space, and then he just held on to it too long. Bissett had made a good move down the left-hand side. He should have slid it down the left, see what Bissett could do against Dragusin, and unfortunately, one touch too many, and a midfield player caught him up and dispossessed him. That was the story, a number of turnovers, wasn't it, early on there?
So, 0-0. The Carabao Cup third round on BBC CWR and 5 Sports Extra. It's Sarr who breaks for Tottenham on the right wing, chased by Eccles, who eventually gets the better of him and wins the free kick. And every time that sort of thing happens, the Sky Blues fans absolutely love it.
Well, it was good play by Josh Eccles, because I've got to say Sarr looks as if he's quicker, but you know, Eccles just kept going at him, followed him into the corner. Sarr checks, Eccles takes it off him, and it's really good midfield play.
So a free kick to Coventry City, just to the left-hand side of their penalty area.
They've been particularly good, haven't they, this evening in those battles, sticking to the men, chasing them back, not giving up, nicking possession when you think that Spurs might get into a good position. They've got to keep doing that for the full 90 minutes and beyond.
So here come Sky Blues now. Thomas Asante breaks into the penalty area. He's tackled as he tries to get a shot in, but it's bounced out for a corner to the Sky Blues.
Well, old-fashioned football, ball up to right, flicked on, Asante in behind. The angle wasn't kind, it was on his left foot. He's gone for goal, but it was a block by, I think it was Davis, and the ball's gone for a corner.
And the Sky Blues have won the corner count 3-2 in the first half, have their first of the second. Jack Rodoni again to take its course. Some problems with corners already. And he'll take, I think all the Sky Blues corners have come from the right. There's a delay, inevitably again the referee wants to sort out some pushing and shoving. Did give a free kick against Coventry in I think the last corner of the first half. He's having a word with Thomas Asante there.
Well, Thomas Asante's trying to get round the Foster in goal, and the defenders having none of it. They're quite right to block him, give Foster as much room as possible to try and deal with it.
Sarr was also spoken to, so Rodoni pauses, lifts the hand in the signal and floats it towards the far post. That's headed away. It'll be volleyed back. Oh dear. Eccles might have another chance. He lobs it back in. Completely mishit the first volley. A bit like one of my golf shots. It didn't move at all. And but in the second effort to lob it to the penalty area, he didn't find a Sky Blues shirt.
No, Eccles never looked confident there with the ball coming out the sky, did he? He wasn't set, his feet didn't look right, and it was almost a fresh air shot.
0-0. It's Tottenham Hotspur now, with Brennan Johnson tries to push the ball through. It's blocked by Allen, but Johnson gets it again and plays it out to the left-hand side, where it's picked up by Spence, and gives it to back to Sarr, forward for Werner, who's running backwards. Still got it, Werner, but he's challenged by Rodoni, and takes the ball off him. Werner looks at the referee, who says, that's fine, and waves play on. And Rodoni finds Bissett. Bissett on the left of the penalty area, gets a shot in, and Forster saves. And Bissett looks frustrated, as for the second time in the night, he nearly scores.
Well, it's great persistence from Rodoni in midfield. Werner, you know, he's got the ball and he's almost thinking, do you know what, this is a foul. He's holding him off, he's appealing to the referee. Rodoni's having none of it, nicks it, the referee says play on, and then the ball's threaded down to Bissett. We've talked about his pace down that left-hand side. Again, the angle wasn't great, but he's hit it so cleanly, and it's another decent save from Forster, low down to his left-hand side.
Oh, Spence has got the better of Hadji Wright here, and is barged into by Thomas. No foul though, according to the referee, and Coventry City can get it away. Not the best of clearances that time from Van Avac, and Sarr collects, gives it to Bergvall, back to Sarr, and Tottenham pass around inside the Sky Blues half. Here's Spence in field for Davis. Oh, he's tried a bit of a fancy move there and got dispossessed by Allen, and it's picked up by Bissett on the right hand side. Radoni in space in the middle is calling for it, but Bissett can't get the ball away. It's picked up by Thomas Asante, and the Sky Blues start again inside the centre circle. Binks out to the left of Bidwell, back to Louis Binks, a former Tottenham Academy player who plays it all the way back to his keeper Ben Wilson. Full moon shines over the Coventry Building Society Arena, with this tie still very much in the balance at 0-0. It's the Sky Blues on the left with Bidwell, who lofts the ball high for Bissett to chase. Will it land for him? He picks it up now. Bissett in the penalty area. He wanted just a little bit too much time, and Spence was able to get the tackle in, and Coventry have to settle for a corner.
Well, a bit of inexperience from Bissett there. It was a lovely ball, wasn't it? Played to him a diagonal. It was falling on his right side. There were recovering defenders, and as a striker you've got to whip it with your right foot. You've got to have that confidence. He wanted to bring it on his left. By that time he was tackled. Still got a corner, but he'd have been better off having a go there with his right foot.
Sky Blues fans urging their team on, sensing that something could happen here. Radoni again, it's a corner from the right. And there's a left-footed one towards the far post. Forster tries to grab it with both hands and spills it. It's picked up by Bissett on the left wing. He plays it back for Bidwell. First time cross, volleyed away by a defender. It's still around the edge of the area before it's firmly cleared by Gray. And Tottenham have eventually dealt with the corner.
Another good turnover from Coventry, wanting to catch Spurs in possession, and then they're turning defence into attack very quickly.
Good ball from Ben Wilson for Bissett. Forster comes out and he takes Bissett out. The referee plays on as Wright has a chance to score. He's denied. I think the referee played an advantage. The Sky Blues players are protesting because that could well have been a red card for Norman Bissett, who seemed to take, or the keeper Forster, who seemed to take Bissett out. But the referee, I think, played an advantage and therefore has not gone for his pocket.
Well, a long ball by Wilson. You know, it was one again, and that's a red card if the referee doesn't play advantage. Asante, I think, is in front of goal, has his shot blocked. We wouldn't be saying it if he'd have scored, but I wish the referee had blown up now.
And the corner comes in, it's headed in by Bidwell, headed away, it's still around the 6-yard box. It's just the referee's flagging for an offside. I mean, in fairness, it was a good chance for Haji Wright. There's a yellow card here, I think, for descent to Bissett. And it was a good chance for Wright. He just took a bit too long. He actually had the empty net, but it was blocked well by Davis.
I've got sympathies for the... I've not seen it actually on the replay there. I think you've had the benefit of that, haven't you?
To be fair, looking at the replay, it looks like Bissett actually is pushed initially by a defender. Little shove. I'll come back to that because the Sky Blues are attacking, and it's Thomas Asante who gives it to Radoni. Back to Thomas Asante, who shoots, and it's just wide. Having seen the replay, it looks to me as if the keeper Forster collides with his own player. The foul was actually a push by the defender on Bissett. Whether the referee saw it as a foul and played an advantage or not, I don't know. But certainly Wright had a very good chance subsequently. It remains 0-0. See it. He was just given a push by Dragusin. And Haji Wright thought he was going to score. Got to give credit to Ben Davis.
It's Jake Bidwell, isn't it, that's up there? Not.
Yes, sorry, it is Jake Bidwell. You're right. And then Wright's shot is blocked.
Well, Wright should score.
It was a great block by Ben Davis, in fairness. So that's why it wasn't a red card in the end. Keeper didn't actually make contact with Bidwell. And so the ball is played over the top by Tottenham down the right and headed forward. And Sarr for Spurs. Gets it out to Werner. Werner inside the penalty area. Tries to get a cross in. It's cut out by Van Avaak.
Well, we've had numerous chances this evening, haven't we? The three in the first half we talked about. The the right one, particularly there. Asante firing over. Coventry do have to find the shooting boots and be a little bit more clinical.
I think it was actually Jamie Allen who got the yellow card for dissent. Corner for Spurs, fired in, headed towards goal. Brilliant save from Ben Wilson to deny Ben Davis. A header from just outside the 6-yard box. It looked like it was going in, but Wilson managed to grasp it out of the air.
It was top save. Bentacar it was that headed it, and it was a top save from Ben Wilson. He's had nothing to do, but he had to perform then.
And now the ball is chipped in again. It's headed away. And Van Eyck will get it away for Coventry City. And Bissett just putting the Spurs defender under a bit of pressure. That was Werner, actually, was back there. Oh, and then a miscue pass. Tottenham not on the right wavelength for this. Hadji Wright just outside the penalty area. Moving one way then the other. Gets a shot in. That's blocked. It comes to Eccles outside the penalty area. Now Jamie Allen to the right to Van Eyck. He holds on to it and gives it back to Jamie Allen. And it's Eccles with a curling cross. And the far post is fired wide by Thomas Asante.
Well, we've had that brilliant Wilson save from the corner, haven't we? But apart from that, it's been all Coventry. I tell you, Spurs are rocking. They're losing possession all over the pitch and presenting Coventry with opportunities. Surely only going to be a matter of time before we convert one of these.
0-0 after an hour. It was Ben Davis's header, see the replay, that was saved by Ben Wilson. Brilliant save, that. First one he's had to make tonight. It was a top draw one. The keeper who's second choice at the moment in the Championship, but with saves like that, he'll be putting pressure on Oliver Dovin. Spurs have the ball inside the Sky Blues half. Davis out to his left, finds Werner. And plays it infield, picked up by Spence. And here's Davis. The Sky Blues fans really getting behind their team now, but it's Tottenham trying to conjure up an attack. Werner plays it out to Spence, and now a curling cross from Sarr. No one on the end of it. It's always the case when we're on telly, Oggy. At some point you get shown on TV, and there you are.
Well,
they've cut me out. Go on, I'm in there just slightly. They've more or less cut me out. Spurs are going to make a couple of substitutions, and one that Sky Blues fans will be, I'm sure, happy to see, in that I think James Maddison is coming on for Spurs. He's going to replace Lucas Bergville. Before that, on comes Son Heung-min, who replaces Bergville. Thomas Solanke also going off. Maddison comes on. There are a few boos, but it's mainly applause, which is what it should be, surely. And yeah, the initial former player boos are drowned out by applause around the stadium as the Coventry City Academy graduate comes on for Spurs. So they've had to go to their A-team, Oggy, with Son Heung-min and James Maddison on.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see Son and Maddison's. I mean, listen, Spurs are rocking. He's had to make those changes. Can they add some assurance to their performance? I mean, sometimes it's hard to get into games like this when you come on at this period, but subs are there to make a difference, to make a change, and that's what the manager will be hoping they can do.
Radoni on the break for Coventry, out to Bissett, low ball into the area, and it's thrown in by Brandon Thomas Asante, and Coventry City have taken the lead against Spurs. A great break down the left, Radoni involved, and it came into the area, and Brandon Thomas Asante scores his first goal for Coventry City, and what a game to get it in. He celebrates in front of Singer's corner. Coventry City thoroughly deserving the lead, and they have it now. Coventry City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 0.
Well, we've been saying they're knocking on the door. A goal must be coming, and it's come, and the former Thomas Asante. I'll tell you what, it was a very well crafted goal. It was right down the left-hand side. A lovely ball slipped inside, and Thomas Asante, a lovely clean strike into the bottom corner. Forster's got no chance, and Spurs may have made those changes, but it's certainly made no difference to the performance at the moment. Fantastic goal from Coventry. Can they go on and win this tie?
Do you know what's great about that goal against the Premier League team? We don't have to wait for it to be confirmed by VAR. Rob Gurney, that was a really well-worked goal.
Magnificent, absolutely magnificent. No more than the Sky Blues deserve. Redoni and Bissett at the heart of it, and Brandon Thomas Asante, unerring finish for someone who's not a natural goal scorer. That was a terrific finish with his right foot. Now, can they go on and either hold on to this or hopefully get one or two more before the end of the game?
Well, he looked so assured, didn't he? I mean, he just met the ball. You might argue that it was a chance he should score, but looked so positive, so confident. It's Coventry winning the ball again that causes the problems.
It was Bidwell with the first pass, and then it came back to the left with Bissett with the cross. Have to be fed by Redoni. Thomas Asante fires it in, and Coventry City have the lead here at the CBS Arena. But Ange Postecoglou has a picture of him just standing arms folded. He has brought on two of his top players just before that goal, and he'll be hoping that they can turn it around. And they've got about 25 minutes to do it, and not a great contribution there by Son, who's just pushed Thomas Asante in the back and given away a free kick.
Just looking at that replay, it's a really good run from Thomas Asante and a very well threaded ball in by Bissett, but Spurs will be disappointed they've not defended that very well. I think Thomas Asante's come between two Spurs defenders there. I know Davis was one of them, and we thought they might have problems at the back today. These players aren't used to playing in these positions. They've not played together very often, and it shows.
Here's Redoni for the Sky Blues, wins a corner. And the Sky Blues fans are loving this. It's 17 years since Coventry last reached the fourth round of the Carabao Cup. They did it that year with a win at Old Trafford against Manchester United. Now they lead Tottenham Hotspur at the Arena. And for once, this corner is from the left-hand side, but it's still going to be taken by Redoni. He makes a signal and lofts it in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. It's headed away by Sarr. Eccles picks it up, gives it to Allen. Van Avac out to the left, looking for Redoni, but it was a bit too high for him. Glanced off his head, and out for a throw into Spurs. Elsewhere in the Champions League, Celtic did lead Slovan Bratislava 3-0. It's now 3-1. And here's one for you, Oggy. Ajax are 5-0 up against Fortuna Sittard. Their fifth goal scored by Chuba Akpom, who had a particularly undistinguished lone spell here at Coventry City a while ago.
He was very good for Middlesbrough, though, wasn't he?
He was,
the year before last.
Here's Spence for Spurs, trying to find an equaliser. Maddison just outside the penalty area. Good ball into Spence, who pulls it back into the area, but Haji Wright is there to clear for a Spurs throw.
Well, you don't often say that about Haji Wright having to defend in his own box, do you? But he's done that particularly well tonight, by the way.
Tottenham Hotspur with Ben Davis, the captain, forward to Spence, out to the left for Werner. Good ball forward for Maddison. James Maddison moving towards the byline. It's got Bobby Thomas in front of him. He pulls it back for Werner. Back to Maddison. Was the offside? No, the flag stays down. Maddison looking to get a shot in from a tight angle. Can't quite manage it. But the ball's at the edge of the 6-yard box. There's a bit of confusion between Bidwell and Beaks. But in the end, Ben Wilson takes responsibility and grabs the ball, the Coventry keeper.
Well, Maddison was all over that attack, wasn't he? He had the ball countless number of times, and Coventry actually looked nervous when they're defending against him. You know, he's got trickery, he's got craft, he's got guile, but what we can't do is be scared of him. Got to make sure we're brave, tackle at the right time, press him like we've pressed everybody else.
Haji Wright collects a long ball from Binks, right toward the byline, gets it to the area, he still has it, Haji Wright, trying to find a way through, but he's denied in the end and concedes the goal kick.
That's when he's at his best, isn't he, Haji Wright? He gets the ball on the left and suddenly he opens those legs, and he's really quick, causing Spurs all manner of problems when he gets to the byline. Just crowded out this time. It took 3 Spurs players, and obviously as he tried to cross it, the ball must have ricocheted back into his body.
James Maddison breaking down the left for Tottenham Hotspur. Plays it infield to Spence. Spence fires a shot in, which just took Ben Wilson by surprise, but it was wide and out for a goal kick. Just over halfway through the half, Coventry's crowd, 24,606, and about 21,000 of those are thoroughly enjoying the game at the moment. The Sky Blues are to make a couple of substitutions, and they're bringing a couple of first-team regulars on. Certainly Ellis Sims, who's coming on from Norman Bissett, has had a terrific game, denied twice by Frank Forster. Really promising effort from him.
I think we're going to hear a lot from Norman Bissett. He came in, didn't he, on deadline day around that time, and I thought he's probably playing the under-21s a lot this season, but from what I've seen at the moment, he's going to be a big part of this squad. Confident, strong, very, very quick. We're going to hear a lot more about him.
And we're going to see Ben Sheaf, who tried to make a comeback from injury in the last round, but then had a relapse, and now he's back again. And before then, Ephraim Mason-Clark comes on for Josh Eccles, who's going to hand the captain's armband to the club captain, Ben Sheaf. Mason-Clark on, and Haji Wright is the other player who's going off. So Sheaf getting a good reception as he comes on. So his will be a straight swap for Eccles. Mason-Clark a straight swap for Wright. And Sims a straight swap for Bissett, Oggy.
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
I just say they're all straight swaps.
Yes, they are. Yeah, I mean, it's just about legs. Josh Eccles did 90 at the weekend. Ben Sheaf will do that job. Great to see him back playing for Coventry. You know, we certainly missed his contributions at the start of the season. Mason-Clark had a good game on Saturday. He's going to get a chance here. Tell you what, Haji Wright's never worked so hard defensively as he has done tonight. Did a really good job. And where is it? Ellis Sims, obviously, for Bissett. We talked about that.
19 minutes of the 90 to go. Rob Gurney, you backing the Sky Blues to see this
Don't
through?
ask me that, Clive, honestly. Now, I think Bissett has been, along with Redoni, absolutely outstanding tonight. He really has, and he'll take loads from this performance, I think, moving forward, you know, into the future. It was a brave decision in many ways by Mark Robbins to play him, but he's more than repaid that faith tonight. You know, an assist for the goal, and generally has been a big worry for the Spurs defence. But they keep their professionalism, keep their discipline, and they can do this. But as we know, Spurs can change things in an instant. But at the moment, let's accentuate the positives and think that the Sky Blues are going to make the last 16 of the League Cup. What an achievement that would be against, a much changed but still a very, very talented Tottenham side.
Yep. Most of these players were involved one way or the other in the North London derby. They'll have disappointed so far, Spurs, but they have plenty of quality on the pitch to change things. Werner finds Son inside the area, tries to go round Allen, but Ben Sheaf was there to pick up the loose ball, and the Sky Blues win a goal kick.
And that's what you've got to do now. Listen, you know Spurs are going to have a heck of a lot of the ball, but Coventry have won the ball in good areas on lots of occasions this evening. They've still got to keep doing that, even though the game's getting quite old. A few of the players will be tired. There's a Spurs player gone down injured now. Is it Werner?
Yeah, Werner gone down on the back of his leg. You have to go back 24 years for the last time Coventry beat Tottenham in 2000 in the Premier League. And John Aloisi and John Eustace scored. They've played them 4 times since then and not scored against them until tonight. Brandon Thomas Asante on target. And well, it's going to be quite a bit of stoppage time because the other substitutions are now Timo Werner is he's back on his feet, but I think he's going to be replaced by Spurs. And he hobbles off looking unhappy, and Spurs are going to replace him with Dejan Kulusevski. At the end of all that, it's a goal kick to Coventry City.
Substitution for Tottenham
Lead by 1-0. Looking to get into the draw for the 4th round, which takes place in a week's time. This staggered 3rd round fixtures in this competition. Milan Van Avat for Coventry. Tries to get it through to Thomas Asante, but Son gets a little block on it, and there's a scramble for possession, and it's picked up by the substitute Joson Kulusevski. He's into the penalty area, tries to force it through, but there are plenty of Sky Blues players back, and he can't get it through them. And Van Avat always given it away though. He was crowded and he couldn't get it away. Spence for Spurs plays it back to Bentancur, and now it's out to the right hand side for Gray. Archie Gray, his orange boots, little back heel, finds Johnson. And Sky Blues, plenty of players behind the ball trying to keep Spurs out. Tottenham have it now with Davis to Bentancur, back to Ben Davis, the short pass, and Allen just fails to intercept, but Sheaf gets it and gives it back to Ben Wilson, whose worldy save earlier is looking all the more important now. And the ball is won by Sheaf, who finds Radoni, and Coventry looking to catch. Spurs on the break. Radoni to Sims, just got stuck under his feet slightly, but he gives it to Bidwell. Bidwell gets it across the penalty area. Sims header. Oh, and it's almost turned in, and somehow bounces wide. There was an offside when Thomas Asante went for it. If Sims had managed to head it straight at goal, I think it would have counted, but the ball was travelling a little slowly, and Thomas Asante couldn't resist trying to get on the end of it.
It's another great chance for Coventry. They've worked it well, win the ball. Radoni plays it out wide left. It ends up at Bidwell. Lovely drink ball to far post. And Sims, I think he's caught between heading it down for Asante and heading for the far corner. And he's just fractions away from the far corner as Thomas Asante misses the ball by fractions as well. Could have been so different, that move.
The ball is now with Tottenham. Over the top, ball finds Maddison. Maddison with a shot. Just wide. There was half a chance there. And Coventry are going to bring another substitute on. And it's going to be Victor Torp, who will replace Jack Radoni. And Radoni getting a generous round of applause. The referee's telling him to hurry up, but he's milking this applause. He's had a terrific game, Jack Radoni. Oggy, isn't he? His set pieces have been excellent.
He's been brilliant. I mean, listen, he's won the ball countless times. So he's probably, I would have thought he's the one that's picked most of the things up in midfield. He's got Coventry working. He's been spreading the ball left and right. He's had opportunities himself. It's a shame that he's not going to see the final few moments of this game out. But Coventry in front, they need legs out there if they're going to get this job finished.
Victor Torp, the player who scored the goal that wasn't in the end in the FA Cup semi-final, looked to have wanted an extra time, but a hugely cruel and debatable VAR decision denied him. But can he help Coventry City beat Tottenham Hotspur here? They beat one Premier League team last season in Wolves in the FA Cup. The ball's come to Sims in the penalty area. Torp's pass deflected to him. Sims with a shot, deflected! And it's just missed at the far side. It's Thomas Asante again. Stretches for it, can't quite reach it. I think he was onside that time. That could so easily have been 2-0.
Or is it Mason Clark? I think it is on the left-hand side. Yeah, just again, things are not working for him in front of goal. Bit more of a contact. Coventry are 2 up.
Yeah, Mason Clark on the left, Thomas Asante on the right. Sky Blues leading by goals in a low. The top ball. Son looked like it might have been offside. It never reached him anyway. Milan van Avermaet got his head to it. Spurs collect again with Spence. And he plays it back to Benton Kerr. Dragusin out to the right wing. Collected there by Sarr. Infield to Benton Kerr. Tottenham trying to build steadily. Ben Davis. Maddison made a run, but Davis didn't pick him up. Tottenham still passing it around. Out to the right wing. Back in field. Comes back to halfway to Dragusin. Davis again. Spence on the left. Almost level with the Sky Blues penalty area. Gives it to Son. Forward for Maddison. Oh, he turns Van Avermaet well, but Van Avermaet recovers well, gets a tackle in. Now Son picks it up, plays it towards the byline. Sheaf wants to let it go out. He hasn't got time to do that. And another save from Wilson. Once again, Ben Wilson to the rescue. As Tottenham looked for the equaliser there. And now the ball played into the penalty area. That will roll out. Oh, Van Avermaet let it go, but it came off a Coventry player. And it's out.
Oh, it's another brilliant Wilson save. We thought the one from the corner, the header from Benton Kerr was a good one. That was equally as good. Ball was fired in. I didn't catch who got on the end of it, but it was a top save with his left hand.
Yeah, I think it was Kulusevski denied there by Wilson. Here is the corner. Maddison taking this one, fires it in with power. It's flicked towards the far post and then headed away. But it's back with Tottenham. They pick up the loose ball with Gray. He has it again. And plays it to Spence, who's taken a bit by surprise, but does collect it now and gives it to Maddison. James Maddison tried to thread it through to Spence, but Van Avermaet cut it out. 9.5 minutes of the 90 to go. Probably 4 or 5 minutes of stoppage time to add. Dragusin for Spurs. Out to the right-hand side. Oh, good tackle comes in from Mason Clark. And he finds Allen, but the return ball from Allen doesn't find Mason Clark. And it means Spurs could come forward again. The ball into the penalty area is hooked away by Thomas as Johnson tried to get on the end of it. Throw in Spurs.
Well, it's going to be a nerve-wracking last 9 minutes, isn't it? Coventry defending in the back third of the pitch desperately. Every man behind the ball, bar Sims.
Tottenham Hotspur have it. They've been camped inside the Sky Blues half for a while now. Through ball cut out by Louis Binks. Back comes Spurs again though. Ball's chipped forward, aimed at Sarr, but it's overhit and it bounces out for a goal kick, which is cheered heartily by the Sky Blues supporters.
Yeah, it is, and Ben Wilson's going to take as long as he possibly can. I can see the referee playing. He's telling Ben Wilson to hurry up, but he's going to have none of it. He's going to take his time. The ball's going to go long. There'll be none of this playing in round the back, I don't think. They'll try and fight for this second ball and relieve a little bit of this pressure.
Tottenham searching for a way back. It's Coventry City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 0. 8 minutes of normal time to go. Ben Wilson taking as long as he thinks he can get away with before he takes the goal kick. It's up to halfway and it's come off a Sky Blues head, so Spurs have the throw just inside their own half on the Spurs. Oh no, the assistant referee has advised the referee to change his mind, and he's done so and given the throw to Coventry. The referee originally signalled Spurs way, so I presume they had a little chat on their two-way communications, and between them they decided that it was a Sky Blues throw, which I must admit was my first thought, but I'm a long way away from it, so I was prepared to go with the officials.
What it has done is given Coventry a chance to work the line, play in Spurs half, try and take the fizz out of this, this recovery from Spurs, really, because they've got to do something to try and get back in this game. They're not going to do it in their own half.
Bidwell with the throw, gets it back, gets the header forward. Mason Clark gets it in, the shot's fired in there from Torp, but it's blocked, and Spurs bring it out of defence. Sky Blues trying to pin them back. Tottenham will work their way towards the Coventry City half. No long ball from them. They're going to pass their way forward and try and find an opening. They're still inside their own half with Benton Kerr. He now crosses the halfway line and out to the right wing. It's played into the penalty area, and there's danger. It's pulled back just behind Sarr, and that could have been a chance, but the pass from Kuleski is not quite accurate enough, and the Sky Blues survive. They now have a throw-in.
Good work down the right-hand side from Spurs. They're starting to look dangerous every time they get forward now. A cut back. It was just, I think it was Spence, wasn't it, that made the box. It was just behind him. Coventry managed to clear.
And Postecoglou clapping his hands, trying to encourage his team. They are going to look a little bit more effective going forward. It's been a disappointing night for Spurs fans, without a doubt, up to now. But they have the quality to change it in the closing minutes. Maddison tries to go for it. Son actually takes it off him. Son Heung-min now out to the right wing for Johnson. He plays it to the area. It comes off Bidwell, and Spurs have another corner on the right-hand side.
Over there again, Coventry back in numbers. Spurs win the ball, trying to play it in, but it was a good block. They played it short now. Coventry have got to switch on here.
Johnson short to Maddison, and the cross from the right-hand side, and a good header from Bobby Thomas, and another one. It's out for a Spurs throw.
Well, brilliant.
And I think there might be a yellow card for a Sky Blues substitute here, who kicked the ball away to prevent the quick throw-in. And so it's Liam Kitching, who has had his disciplinary problems. He's now managed to get a yellow card without even playing.
He had a few reds last year. Surely not going to get a red before he gets on the pitch. We shouldn't joke.
So the throw-in, I mean, you can see what he's trying to do. A bit naughty, but I don't think his manager will be too upset. Just delayed Tottenham taking the throw. It's Son for Tottenham, back to Maddison, plays it along the ground towards the edge of the area. Good tackle by Torp, and it's going to be fired away by Thomas. And Sky Blues on the defensive, so it's Tottenham bring up the loose ball, although Mark Robbins, I think, is a bit annoyed about that and wanted maybe a bit of an outlet up front, but now the ball is overhit by Tottenham and out for a goal kick. And we've got 4 minutes of normal time to go, and the scoreline still reads Coventry City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 0.
Yeah, and I think Mark Robbins is having a go at Sims, I think, because he's the one lone person up front. He's come on and he's got to run like he's never run before, really, because Coventry have got 9 men behind the ball played into him. He's got to make sure that he holds it up, or at the very worst, put the Spurs players under pressure that are receiving it.
The other cup tie is finished. Brighton beating Wolves 3-2. Wolves got one back in stoppage time, but not enough. Ben Wilson, who could well be accounted for a yellow card before the end of the game, as he takes an age with that goal kick. And it's Jamie Allen for the Sky Blues, gives it away. Coventry need to be a little bit better in possession when they've got it. And now it's Spence for Spurs. Son making the run, but Spence doesn't release the pass. Gives it to Bentancur, first time touch from Maddison to Kuleski into the penalty area, and Tottenham equalise, and it was a very well worked goal. Jed Spence gets it, and they get level with 3 minutes of normal time to go. Did all start with Coventry giving away the ball, but a very well worked move from Spurs as substitute Jed Spence levels it. It's Coventry City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1.
Well, that's a Premier League goal, isn't it? Real quality from Spurs. You know, they played the ball, lovely ball in behind, actually, and then a little turn. Spencer's carried on with his run, and Coventry defenders are flat-footed. Ben Wilson can't get there. It's a side-foot finish. It's a real shame, because Coventry have worked so hard here.
And now Tottenham charging forward again. They want to avoid penalties and win this game in these closing minutes against the possibly tiring Sky Blues, and Sarr with a long-range shot. Well, that's high and wide and out for a goal kick to Coventry City. 2 minutes of normal time to go, maybe 4 or 5 minutes of stoppage time. Are we going to penalties, or can either side find a winning goal?
It was a goal of real quality. It's hard to be critical of Coventry. I mean, yes, they've got plenty of defenders back. there was a ball played into the front and then spun round the back, and Coventry were flat-footed, but you've got to hand it to Spurs there. I mean, that was a top-class goal.
Wilson's goal kick is long. Up goes Sims, but he can't reach it. Comes back into the Sky Blues half. Bobby Thomas gets ahead on it. It's picked up by Spurs again, but they give it away. Jamie Allen plays it back to Binks. He knocks it forwards. Back with Spurs again, though. Sky Blues just struggling to keep the ball. And Kuleski, a nice touch from him, but Van Avat read it, clears. Only as far as Maddison. James Maddison just inside the Coventry City half. It's out to the right-hand side. And Johnson is fouled by Bidwell, and that'll be a free kick to Spurs on the right wing in the last minute of the 90.
Well, penalties is not the worst thing tonight. Coventry have got to hold strong here. Yes, they've conceded one goal, but don't wilt now. Be nice and strong. They've been strong for the majority of this game. Just got to see out the last embers of this game.
James Maddison with the free kick on the right wing. Not quite level with the penalty area, always full. Everyone played it along the ground to Kuleski, who tries to work his way through the Sky Blues defence. Doesn't succeed, it's cleared, and it's picked up by Mason Clark, who goes on a run, but in the end runs out of room, and it's collected by Spurs. And Spencer, goal scorer, he's tackled by Mason Clark, and the Sky Blues get the throw in on the halfway line. Spence will get a yellow card. Actually, it's not Spencer gets a yellow card, it's one of the other Spurs, Maddison, I think, for dissent there. I thought Spencer was going to get it for taking the throw. 4 minutes of stoppage time, which must have been slightly less than I was expecting. So 4 minutes of stoppage time to be played, and if neither side scores in that time, we'll have a penalty shootout. And Coventry's recent experience of penalty shootouts has not been happy. But we'll have to cross that bridge when they come to it. Bidwell now breaking down the left for the Sky Blues. Lets it run for Mason Clark. He fires it across from left to right. And it wasn't the best of balls, and Mark Robbins is frustrated by that.
Yeah, it needed another pass, actually. Coventry just started to go too long. It's understandable they're tired, but they need to keep this passing going, and I'm sure Spurs will still take a few chances, even in the last few minutes. They'll want to win this. They won't want to go to penalties, and I'm sure there's going to be another chance or two for one side or the other.
Well, Sky Blue song being sung around the arena. Maybe we are preparing for a penalty shootout. So wondering who's going to take them for Coventry City. Hadji right there, main penalty taker's off the pitch. So it won't be him. Thomas wins a header, finds Sheaf. Ben Sheaf tries to give it to Torp, but he's crowded out of it. And Spurs looking for a winner. And the through ball's a chance here. It's 2-1 Spurs. The ball put into the net by Brennan Johnson. And the Tottenham bench celebrates. They've turned it around in the closing minutes. Again, it was a good goal. The movement fast by Tottenham. And Brennan Johnson slots it past Ben Wilson, who has no chance. It's heartbreak for the Sky Blues. It's relief for Tottenham Hotspur. It's Coventry City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 2.
Oh, and it's so unnecessary. It's Ben Sheaf, actually, who's given the ball away in the middle of the park. He's playing too short. He's got 2 or 3 bodies around him. You know that Spurs are good at being able to press and nick the ball, and that's what he's done. He's played Ben Sheaf in with his back to goal. They've toe-poked it away, and then from then on, it's the break down the right-hand side. He's got a lot of pace, Johnson. Ball was played in brilliantly. He's dinked it over the advancing Wilson, and it looks like Coventry are going to go down after playing so well in this game.
It was a very good first-time finish from Johnson. It was a tightish call for offside. Probably would have gone to VAR if we had one here, but we don't. So the Sky Blues, unless they can find something, they've got just over a minute to do it. They have a throw-in on the far side. Louis Binks trots forward, and Milan Van Avat will go across to take the long throw as the Spurs fans sing. But can Coventry City save the day yet? Van Avat halfway inside the Spurs half will try and get this into the penalty area. It loops in And it's cleared by Spurs. Sheaf wins it. Ben Sheaf then plays it out towards the right-hand side. It's headed away. Back of the Sky Blues with Torp. Tries to find Thomas Asante, who's turned his man well. Thomas Asante can't get past the second defender, though. And Maddison brings it away for Spurs. Then goes down to challenge. Free kick Tottenham. And probably they're into the fourth round.
Asante has been... scored a good goal earlier on. He's been a thorn in their side really with his running, his harrying, but that instance he's got to make better choices on the ball.
Well, it's been a memorable night, but ultimately a disappointing one for the Sky Blues, it would seem.
Just trying to get a replay of this winning goal because I didn't think it was offside, but it was certainly a tight call.
Yeah. It's a free kick anyway to Tottenham. They're trying to run the clock down. That might be it. Fraser Forster with a kick. Referee allows play to continue. If the Sky Blues can get the ball, they might have a chance of one last attack. But at the moment they can't get it. It's Maddison for Spurs, Son, and throw into the Sky Blues, but they're deep inside their own half. It's hard to see if they've got time to get up to the other end. Thomas Asante, by the way, for what it's worth, got a yellow card for that foul, and it's gone out for a Spurs throw, and that surely is it. And Coventry have played really well for much of the game and led it until 3 minutes away from the 90. But Tottenham, producing two Premier quality goals, have turned it around, and it is all over. And Tottenham Hotspur progress to the fourth round of the Carabao Cup, but they've been given one heck of a test by Coventry City, who feel bitterly disappointed they couldn't quite see the job through. But they led through Brandon Thomas Asante before Spurs turned it around late on through Jed Spence and Brennan Johnson, two substitutes. And it is finished. Coventry City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 2. Here are the thoughts at half-time, full-time, of Steve Igricevic.
Well, it's such a disappointing end to the game. For 87 minutes, I thought it was going to be Coventry's night. I mean, they've been outstanding tonight for different reasons to the weekend. They've been good on possession, they've been aggressive, they've forced turnovers against the Premier League side on quite a number of occasions. They've had countless opportunities. Great goal from Asante to put us in front, and you think it's going to be our night, and then I don't know, the players get a little bit tired, they start to go a little bit longer, and mistakes occur, and I'm afraid that's what's happened. You know, two late goals, and Coventry are going to be so bitterly disappointed that they've not got something out of this game. But I'll tell you, Clive, they deserved it.
So near, but so far in the end for the Sky Blues. It's finished Coventry City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 2 on BBC CWR and 5 Sports Extra with Rob Gurney.
Yeah, sometimes life isn't fair, and it feels like the last few minutes tonight is one of those occasions. Quite a few of the Sky Blue supporters in the 24,000 strong crowds have stayed to applaud the players. Spurs got away with one, but in the end their Premier League quality told. Spence and Johnson with the late goals after Brandon Thomas Asante seemed to build the platform for another historic Sky Blues night against Tottenham Hotspur, but it wasn't to be, and perhaps fatigue played a part, although it was Ben Sheaf that had his pocket picked by Benton Kerr on the halfway line, which led to the winning goal, and he hadn't been on the field for very long. But nevertheless, this is an ovation, Steve Igricevic, that the players thoroughly deserve.
Absolutely, they've been outstanding tonight. It's just a shame, we'll probably dissect the last 10-15 minutes where Coventry started to sit deeper and deeper, and almost, what can I say, I mean, they've been in the faces of Spurs all evening, and then with the likes of Maddison coming on, Son, it was almost as if you give them a little bit too much room. They're great players, they're crafty players, and they can get things going, but even then, I mean, the last goal, for instance, Ben Sheaf's got the ball, he's got to do something with it, he's trying to play too short, it gets cut out, and then all of a sudden Spurs are on the break. They're a Premier League club, they've got pace to burn, they play it out wide, and Brennan Johnson, it's a superb finish. And that's the game. You can't give these players that type of opportunity, and Coventry unfortunately have done that at the death. The rest of the game, it's been all Coventry really. The bulk of the chances have been Coventry's. We should have scored more than the one goal. I would actually say that Ben Wilson did during the game make 2 fantastic saves to keep Coventry in it, but overall it'll be a really disappointing result. We deserve something for that, for the effort they put in and the quality through large parts of the game.
And just to say, James Maddison actually joined in that sort of lap of honour around the CBS arena. Easy for him in the circumstances when he's nicked the game 2-1 for his team in terms of the part that he played for the last few minutes. I'm not so sure he'd have done that if the Sky Blues would have won, but anyway, wearing Ben Sheaf's shirt as well. He swapped shirts with Ben Sheaf, and certainly was wearing Sheaf 14 on his back when he disappeared down the tunnel. Ben Wilson, Oggy just acknowledging him as he comes off the field, and he's had another terrific night in goal. He's played well in this competition this season, and he's now, for me, putting Oliver Dovin under some genuine pressure in the Championship. I
think so. Two fantastic saves during the game, actually. One from a corner. It was Spurs' first opportunity on goal. I think it was a point blank header from Ben Kanker, I think, and he's kept it out smartly with his right arm, and then moments later a Kuleveski shot again from point blank, saved it with his left hand. So he's had a good evening. You can't attribute any blame to him for the goals. Coventry was square for the Spence goal, for the first one, and then obviously with the Brennan Johnson one down the right hand side, 1v1, very clever little dink over him as Ben Wilson comes to narrow the angle. He'll be disappointed because when you make saves like that, you hope you get something out of the game.